Well, I'm very pleased to say I'm joined by Lee Rudd this afternoon, who is one of the directors of UK Rejoin EU and the National March to Rejoin. Very exciting, of course, because one of the biggest marches in years, hopefully coming up in September. Lee, do you want to tell us about the basics? When, where, how?
It's going to happen on Saturday, the 10th of September. It will be 12 till 4. We'll be at London Hyde Park in Speaker's Corner. That's where we'll meet from 1 p.m, taking us past Trafalgar Square, Whitehall and Downing Street. And then there'll be a rally on Parliament Square from 3 p.m. onwards with guest speakers to be announced on stage.
That sounds fantastic. I mean, it's about time we had one of these after sort of 2 years of lockdown and restrictions on our movement. So tell me a bit about how you got involved with organising this march in the first place. What sparked it for you?
To be honest, we've wanted to do something like this for a while, but obviously COVID has taken the forefront.
True.
But I think we're getting to the point now where we need to start reminding people that we need to rejoin. This is what we need to do. And we just need to start it off somewhere. We need to speak up and get more people involved, because at the minute, I think a lot of people are assuming we've disappeared. We've got the,
I think you're right.
We won, right. Get over it, you lost. No, I'm not going to get over it.
Number of times I've heard people say that. So why do you think now is the right time? What's changed to make now the appropriate time?
We run a pretty large group in UK Rejoin the EU. People have been asking us to protest, saying that we need to march for the last 2 years, and it's since COVID has slowed down, it's not stopped. It's increasing, it's more on the demand, and people are starting to get angry. We've already seen it with inflation. So many staff members have left to go back to the EU, which has left us with an absolutely massive staff shortage pretty much everywhere, especially in the NHS. The media report it a lot, although not quite so in your face, if that makes sense.
Yes, I know exactly what you mean. You hear a lot of things come up, but the word Brexit just isn't used by a lot of the media.
No, it isn't. There's a lot of underhand. And I think it needs to be in people's faces now. We've sat back and let things just sort of sit there for a while. And it's not improving, it's going to get worse.
I totally agree with you.
Poverty's getting worse, staff shortages on shelves, all the lorry issues, workers' rights just flying out of the window. And all the predictions that were made before the referendum have been true. We told you so.
It's bizarre, isn't it?
It's funny that. The thing is, though, I don't understand this move on. I mean, move on to what? To more poverty? To,
Yeah, generally.
Brexit's not done. The damaging effects are being reported daily. I've got to say, our media aren't the best, and they don't exactly report it how they should. I mean, everybody just needs to stop reading the Daily Fail for a start. The Northern Ireland border is a massive issue. The Tory MPs are already coming out and suggesting we should rejoin at least the single market. That in itself is huge.
I mean, I don't think they consider so if you join the single market, you don't have any say in it. How are you going to get a say in it? You're going to have to rejoin the EU fully. So, it's fine for them to say that, but I think they don't. Perhaps they know the route and they don't dare say it.
To be honest, I don't think half of them actually understand what they're talking about. I talk to quite a lot of people who turn around and say to me, Brexit's done, you need to move on. And I'll just turn around and say, so could you tell me one benefit of Brexit? One actual benefit, fact of Brexit? And they can't do it. And then they start waffling off on everything that was brought up during the referendum and the last election. And I sit there and go, already been debunked, not true. Boris already admitted he lied, let's move on. And it's just that continuously. And then they get frustrated and then they just tell me to jog on and start being offensive. And that's normally when I get banned.
Yeah, funny. And now, one of the great things about the march that you're organising is quite a lot of organisations have decided now is the time to hop on board. So you've got quite a few organisations supporting you. Can you list who you've got supporting you at the moment?
We've got Leeds for Europe. Oh, sorry, excuse me, I did drop it. Okay, we Stay European, 16 Million Rising, the radio show, EU Night, Catherine Kinkham, Remain in Spain, Sputnik Rat, Leeds for Europe, which I mentioned, yourselves, the Rejoin EU party, UK Rejoin Women and Music Sounds Better with EU. There are more coming on board shortly. We're talking to the bigger organisations such as European Movements and Grassroots for Europe and Best for Britain, in the hope, fingers crossed, that they will come on board as well.
That's fantastic, because I think one of the things a lot of us have found is there's a lot of fairly small and very enthusiastic Rejoin bodies, but they don't tend to work together. And this is the great thing about the March. It does seem to be uniting quite a few of the small to medium-sized groups, and fingers crossed the others will come on board.
Well, yeah, the whole point of the EU is to work together for the greater good, so to speak.
Fantastic. And hopefully we're going to see quite a lot of big name speakers coming in September. Are you going to name names at this stage?
Speakers? No, we're not going to name names. We do have a couple of names confirmed, a couple of large names. We want to keep it a secret just for a little bit longer while we are trying to get other people on board. I think a bit of suspense is what needed here, get people a bit excited. But we do want to get different people on stage that represent different points of view throughout communities. And a lot of these people actually would like to rejoin tomorrow. We know that's not going to happen just yet. But what we want to do is convince those that are still on the line to rejoin. So by doing this and by voicing ourselves a bit more, hopefully those that let's just say probably made the wrong decision a few years ago will say, yes, this is what we want.
Well, yeah, I'm with you. Hopefully the March will renew people's interests in the whole Rejoin argument. Looking to the long term, how long do you think it's going to take for the UK to rejoin the EU?
Oh, that's actually a very good question. When do we think we'll be back? I think rejoining depends on many factors. We need to sort out, we need to get the PR voting system in this country. It's the quickest way to rejoin. We know that possibly at the last vote, if we had had this system in place, we would be at the point of rejoining or getting to rejoin right now, but obviously we don't. So this is what we need, and it needs to be implemented for us to be able to begin the process. We need the opposition parties to get on board. We know that throughout the vote, there was many people on all sides for rejoin and Brexit and whatever. And we know a lot of them through the voting changed. Let's bring up one example, which is a name I don't particularly like to roll off my tongue. He was for rejoin until the devil on his shoulder whispered in his ear and he changed sides. We know that's still out there. They've been told that they've got to back Brexit, but they still can see that it's not doing anybody any good. So hopefully they're secretly on the rejoin side and will pop over. We think there's a majority in the UK to rejoin. Guy Verhofstadt has said that he thinks 90% of the EU Parliament would welcome us back today, if needed. It will be a fight, but we are ready to go there. We think it's inevitable. We don't know how long, but hopefully doing this march will get things moving and more people will join, and essentially our voices will rise.
Do you think there should be another referendum before the UK rejoins the EU? The last one went so well.
Yeah, do you know what? The first one, I got the results on my birthday, which was soul destroying. I was on my birthday, it was 23rd of June, wasn't it? Yeah, sorry, it was actually on my birthday. So I had a great day, and the next day just woke up and it was like,
yeah.
I'd never actually thought politics would affect me that much. I felt sick.
Yeah.
It was horrible. Yes, I think it's the only fair way. People need to have that vote. I think that those that made the mistake the first time and who have admitted to it will vote for Remain. I think those that have been sitting in the wings, watching everything slide downhill, will get off their backsides and vote. And that's what we need. And that's a big issue with this country, is that people are, many of them sit on the sides like, well, my vote doesn't matter. Sorry, I keep banging on the table. My vote doesn't matter. What's the point anyway? We need to get those up out their seats and into voting.
Let's talk about the march itself then. Hopefully some people watching are thinking, yes, I want to get involved, I want to do something. How can people watching get involved and help with the organising, and perhaps help organise people in their area to come to London and attend?
Okay, so we do have a website. It's www.marchforrejoin.co.uk. Everything that we need and what we're doing is all on there. They can come on our Facebook page. It's all here, obviously, you can see that here. We'll answer any questions that people put to us. And if they want to join us, they can just hop on and we'll just take you in. There are many groups on Facebook set up for rejoiners all over the country. If you put Rejoin the EU just in the Facebook search bar, so many come up. We are still asking for volunteers as well, so that's one way to come and join us. Leads for Europe are organising their transport so that people can get there on the day, and that's what we are trying to get the locals to do. Join your local group in your area, because a lot of us were asking if we are organising. Yeah, we're organising a fair bit, but transport you'll have to do locally.
Hopefully the march will be a terrific success in September. What's going to be the future for you guys after the march is over? After
the National Rejoin March, the next biggest thing we've seen is to call over for regional marches, to get everybody to do their own little marches so that their members of parliament can see that that's what they want. People need to be more vocal. We really do need to push it so that parliament know we mean business. This is what we want, and this is how we want to change things.
Marvellous. Well, Lee, it's been a pleasure to meet you, and thank you for coming onto our YouTube show today to say about this. And fingers crossed, lots of people will watch this from our organisation and hop on board and see you on September the 10th. Everybody, you just need to come along and support us. That would be amazing.
Vote Rejoin EU. Join the EU vision.